look here. I feel like a commentator on bare knuckle fighting.
That's
what I've been watching. I like watching people punch each other in the face a whole bunch, as long as it ain't me. So we are here live in studio. Not really. Sitting in my recliner doing a podcast about hog dogging during turkey season, or the lack thereof hog dogging during turkey season. It's a hot topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's very intriguing. I feel like we're being oppressed.
If you could see, I got a group chat with one of our landowners and two other guys that hunt the property, hunt and trap it. One of them, it does primarily like coons and stuff like that. The other guy started trapping some this year with us, and they the landowner doesn't want us to hunt or trap during turkey season, but like we got the go ahead on it for a couple weeks, and then we got to stop during turkey season, then we can start back. But like they nobody's really happy about it. It just amazes me though, because like I thought it was just us at first, but it's everybody, I guess. They get down on old Sean pretty bad. I was trying to see, I'll go through here. Like Eddie sent one that said it is a picture of his little boy. He said it was taken 10 years ago today. Years ago, my son wanted to try his hand at turkey hunting. So I obliged him, and I got some turkey calls, and off we went. We called in several hens by imitating exactly what the hen was doing. It was a great experience. Made me feel like Sylvester and the Tweety Bird. Then my son went through puberty and became a man, and now we fucking coon hunt. So that's I don't know. Then Halsey says, that's hilarious. I'll be glad when turkey season gets over with so I can continue on my life. I feel like my life has been put on hold for a bird. It's gone as far as I think I'm going to have to check myself in somewhere. If I get one more time, yes, you can hog hunt. But it will be after turkey season. I'm going to lose my mind. But in the same breath, these people are saying you need to get these hogs off my property. Now, these guys are talking to our landowner. So, and Eddie said, I'm using this time to reflect and redo the kennels. It's just nonstop. Like there's some shit on here I can't put on here because it gets a little in depth on the way they feel about it. It has stuff to do with, like, you know, the mouth calls and the reason they use them and shit like that, you know. But yeah, the turkey season it's got us kind of shut down.
Yeah. And I mean, is it like that for most other states? I mean, I feel like a lot of the people we know in other states, quite frankly, really don't care if it's turkey season. Like they don't care. They're not really asking. Outlaw's going to outlaw.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times I don't always trust legality of some people that we talk to. And I'm just like, I haven't looked into other state laws. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they like we can't run dogs at night.
No, except during our special nighttime season. And
I mean, you still can, but you're not supposed to.
Yeah, but dogs run fine all year round. But
like during turkey season, though, there's no running the dogs
after 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts out everything.
Well, they changed that too, though, didn't they? Even with the coon dogs and stuff, didn't they? I don't know. Check and see what it says on the.
I mean, as far as I know,
Outdoor Alabama.
Because I was reading, because Alabama also changed their bobcat season, and now in Alabama you can hunt bobcats year round, daylight hours only.
That's pretty cool.
And
they did that with coons too, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's year round.
Let me find the turkey.
I don't know. That's
Let's
what I
see,
was
what
looking
are
to say.
we? Zone.
They got zones for turkey. Wow,
Yeah.
that's kind of crazy.
But
I mean, with all that, that's usually like turkey seasons that's when we try
might
to
be under the
work on kennels and dog boxes and shit that's tore up, and we're trying to get it back going and stuff, so that way we can really go. And we have a couple places we can go.
So it says on the bobcat, coyote, feral swine, and fox seasons 23-24. The Rule 4 says no running of dogs on open permit lands during daytime or after 3 a.m. during spring turkey season. So, open permit, does that just mean like public land?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess you still could on private land.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to see. So that way I understand.
Because it used to be you couldn't do it at all. They were like,
No, I was talking about turkey hunt during turkey season, though.
yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I was reading during spring turkey season.
Where are you finding that at? Because I can't.
It's going to be under the bobcat and coyote. Like all those, because they grouped them all together.
Oh, there we go.
None of them have a closed season. Of all things to
I'm
have
going to go to turkey.
the most distinguished season, it's a feral hog. Special nighttime season. Private and leased lands only. Dogs only. May 11th, August 31st. No firearms allowed.
I was trying to see if it had anything else on under the turkey hunting thing, but it don't say nothing else.
No.
But I know that you can't run dogs during daytime or after 3 a.m. during spring turkey season.
Yeah. On open permit lands.
Yeah, so I mean that's going to be
Public.
That's what I figure. Open permit would be like,
so
okay.
I guess they did change it. I mean, I guess you could squeeze in a day hunt as long as you landowner allowed you. I don't know. Hey, that's
I
good.
guess.
They always changing everything. That's why it's important to stay up to date on your rules.
Oh,
and that's why instead of saying, "Well, I wonder what the rules like," you look it up because hey, sometimes they change them in your favor. Just they reword it just enough to give you back what you needed.
Well, like right here, it says under the feral swine. I mean, I'm going to read word for word. Feral swine special nighttime season on privately owned and leased lands only. Dogs only. May 11th through August 31st. No bag limit. May be hunted during nighttime hours. Dogs only. No firearms allowed. Right under it, it says feral swine special nighttime season on privately owned and leased lands only. Begins at 12 a.m. on the day after the last day of gun deer season, ends 30 minutes prior to sunrise on the opening day of archery deer season in that zone. No bag limit. That's all that says. Literally, that's it. Must have valid resident or non-resident nighttime feral swine and coyote hunting license.
Yeah, that's for thermal night vision.
Exactly, but it doesn't say that here. It doesn't say for thermal and night vision. But we all know that's what it's for, but I'm just saying the gray area there, if you look at it, that's why people are always like, well, no, you can do it at this time and blah, 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 because it all runs together. Right here it says the feral swine, and it does say, it says dogs only right there. But if you're not paying attention and you just read all of it, the dogs only is under all the rest of that heading.
Yeah.
And so that's why there's people constantly ask us these questions, and we're like, well, no, it's this, but like we have to relearn this stuff every single season.
Yeah, I think the date for the special nighttime season has changed every year for the past 3 or 4 years.
Ever since they had it.
I think turkey season's changed for the last 3 years. They changed it just by a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not nothing crazy like they're making a huge shift, but it's still
Well, they did 3 years ago. They changed it. They moved it 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I think our turkey season is from March 25th to May 6th, May 9th, something like that.
We'll be back after a quick break.
We would like to interrupt this episode to take a moment to thank our sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers Podcast. Southern Cross Cut Gear, Boars N Broads, Hardcore Hog Dogs and Cut Gear, Showtime Premium Pet Food, Animal Housing Solutions, Tuskers Magazine, American Doghorn Association, 4L Kennels, Hogbang.com, The Boar's Nest, Crockett Taxidermy, Mud Creek Hog Baying. A big shout out to all those people and companies who help make us who we are. Thank y'all.
Yep. Which, I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, it's a pretty long time for turkey season.
Yeah.
Some states don't have real
which
long
I feel
turkey
better about it now that they reworded it. Or hell, maybe it always said that and I just didn't realize it. But I could have swore it did not say that last year. I have to get out the old book and show that. But like I said, that's why it's important to every year reread everything. Get the book, whatever. Most states, if they don't have a PDF,
yeah,
you can get them at Walmart. You
see, like right there with the
something like that.
Like I just clicked over here to raccoon season.
Yeah,
no close season, maybe hunted daytime or nighttime, private owned and leased lands, and then under it says open permit public land. So that would be that definition there. No running of dogs on open permit lands during daytime or after 3 a.m. on turkey season. See, used to it did not say that. It said on any lands, because like we've had discussions about that. People are like, well, it's my private land. I said, I understand that, but you're not supposed to do it. And I don't see where that's right. You know what I mean? Like if like we have our lease that we hunt and we don't turkey hunt. So why hold up our hunting because of turkey season? We're not, it doesn't bother us. It doesn't affect us. Yeah. So it don't do nothing but hinder us. And rolling right along with that, the turkey season right now, it correlates into planting season, agriculture. That was a problem that we were running into up here at the farm that we deal with a lot. Was right now is when usually they're putting corn in the ground, and with turkey season coming up, we couldn't turn the dogs loose without the other guys complaining about it. So it was a big holdup.
Yeah.
But the farmers are on board now. They're like, hey, there's no turkey hunting now. They would rather do away with the turkey hunting so we could manage the hog issue than to have a bunch of, lose a bunch of money in crops and seed.
Yeah, I mean, there's several times to go to the field and, just ride around, a bunch of times, just see a few, but several times, see 10, 15, 20, and a few just see like an absurd amount, 40 plus. It's like, I don't know how many pigs are out there.
I don't know. Bunch.
And so it's like once you get to a group of pigs that big, they can just do so much damage. And especially once, because Mike and Mitchell and them were doing the no-till. So those pigs could quite literally just smell those kernels of corn and just
walk down the road.
And clean it out.
And it's not like going and buying a bag of corn for $10 or $15 or however much. It's $300 for a bag of seed corn. One, a seed that's already coated and everything.
Yeah. And I mean, I think there's been years where Mike and Mitchell had to replant 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, that gets costly. Even if it's only like they had to replant a total of an acre, well, it's not just seed. It's still they have to go back out.
Fuel.
They have to move the combine. Like you said, if the combine damn breaks, which I mean, it's farm equipment. Stuff breaks on the farm.
Yeah.
You got to fix it.
I mean, you got fertilizer. You start out with that, prepping everything, getting you all that ready. And it's just the cost of fuel. Yeah. And then your time. If you got to plant it 3 times, even though it's a no-till process, it's still a process. It takes, time and effort equals money. And you get to where it's, thousands of dollars just because you lost a few acres. Imagine losing hundreds of acres or even thousands of acres. Then you're going to be you're going to lose. Yeah. And that's just the planning part of it. So that's why it's so important, to be on board with your landowners and stuff if you're agriculture areas.
Yeah, and there's a lot of states where, like, you can hunt pigs at night year round. And so, like, just stay in contact with your landowners, try and figure out, you say, hey, I mean, when are you going to plant, and if you can really go out there and, check a farmer's field, and especially if you get a couple pigs killed in a field and you can send them pictures like same night they planted or within just a couple of days, it really, really helps them and definitely gives them a lot more confidence in you as somebody that's taking care of their property.
No, I agree. It's like you got like during this time, like we trap more.
Yeah. And it's really just to run up odd numbers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we try to get, and there's a lot of guys that don't agree with the trapping that run dogs.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does knock your numbers down in in certain areas. Like if we don't have a big population in one area, like we don't trap as heavy. Yeah. We might only have a box trap, 1 or 2, and that's it.
Just trying to catch a couple of the smaller pigs.
Yeah, but what works out and what has seemed to work for the past several years for us on the trapping side of it is that we're getting rid of a lot of those pigs and shoats, those runners that are going to spend the majority of your time chasing them around in a briar patch. We're taking those out of the equation and we're running bigger hogs. And we've past 2 or 3 years that we've been doing that, we've caught a lot of big hogs.
Yeah. Get to
consistently.
It's like might be several times we go, don't get on anything or don't finish a race or something like that. But it's like you said, when it all lines up.
It's very seldom if we're not going to finish the race. If we strike one, we're going to catch it.
Yeah. Very
seldom.
Well, it depends what dogs we have and under the conditions. If it gets too hot or something like that.
But I don't know. It seems like we're doing better with it as far as the consistency of catching the bigger hogs.
Yeah. For sure, I agree. I mean, look at like when we went hunting with Parker 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, which we were actually trying to get on some of those smaller pigs because they were back there. But, I mean, that's basically a very similar scenario. What's been happening the past few years is we have a bait pile, have sounder hogs coming in, put a box trap, catch a couple of smaller pigs, sounder comes in, take some young dogs, you can put them on some pigs right then and there. And we ended up catching a nice boar. And some young dogs got some good experience. And you can see what you're feeding.
Hell, I didn't want to get them on nothing that rough right off the bat, but I mean they done what they're supposed to do and they succeeded. So didn't nobody get left out in the woods. So that was all right. It's one of them deals where you got to kind of pick and choose your battles because like some properties you can't keep unless you do trap.
Yeah.
And I've got properties like that I have to trap so that way I can run dogs later.
Yeah.
And I trap. And when I go, I try to catch as many as I can, as hard as I can. Doesn't mean that that's what I want to do. There's times where it's like I really hate it. I can't. It drives me insane. But I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm gonna do it, that's what I'll do.
Oh yes.
I try my best.
Sometimes you got to give an inch, take them all. And it's just about compromise and meeting landowner expectations. I mean, if you want to stay the primary person on a piece of property and get all the perks and benefits of a property that's not yours, you're gonna have to put some equity in there, and a lot of times it's sweat equity.
Yeah.
And like Sean wants pigs removed, and he's like, "Hey, get on it." So go knock 40 out in a week, and hey, Sean's happy.
Yep.
Now we get to run dogs. We might set some traps later in the year or something like that, or maybe during the summer. But
he said today we're probably going to go on and go through deer season's trap as well. Because it's working, but at the same time, it's having 2 or 3 people that's down there now. You still catch some hogs. You're knocking out bigger numbers quick, so you still got to be able to work together.
Oh yeah,
and that comes into play, just communication, and you can make it all work, and still everybody come out good. But all it takes is one person to get a little greedier or say, well, I'll do this and it'll be okay. And that's just going to mess the whole thing up.
Yep.
That's all it takes.
You definitely got to be open in your communication and plan things out, and don't overstep boundaries.
A lot of people don't know what boundaries are. Yeah. This weekend we're out there at the Tulsa stander hunt at the weigh-in. And after the weigh-in and all that, we went to go get something to eat. And it was me and Rodney and Kevin Brooks, Cody Godwin, and Connor Anderson. I don't know where we were at. We stopped at this little restaurant. Anyway, there was an older gentleman talking to Cody. Cody's from Florida. We were in Georgia. And the man was talking to him, was talking about hogs, and was talking about having a problem. And Cody stopped right then and said, well, if you have a problem, and he pointed at Kevin, he said, all you got to do is talk to this man right here. He'll help you out. That's those boundaries right there. Cody, that's what you're supposed to do, to me. In my eyes, I see it because, we don't live there. Kevin lives there or close to there. Yeah.
You don't have to have it all. There's
so exactly. So what the first thing you should do is say, okay, you contact him, even if the guy's talking to you. You put it on the next guy that lives there, and then you come back as his guest. That's that boundary.
Because if y'all are really friends, if he gets it, you got it.
Exactly. He's going to invite you to be like, hey, come on, let's go over here and run this property or whatever. And if you're invited to come to a property, or there's 2 or 3 of us down there, you don't start bringing other people that do the same thing.
No.
We run dogs. And Hoss, he shoots thermals. I'm not going to bring a bunch of thermal hunters down there with me.
No.
And, and then the other guy, he shouldn't be bringing dog hunters with him. If he's going to do one scenario and we're doing another scenario, that's how it needs to be. If not, then there's going to be that part we were talking about where nobody's going to get along, and then winds up where everybody loses.
Yep.
Because the landowners, they're not going to listen to all that arguing and bickering and bitching and griping or whatever.
They don't want to deal with that bull crap.
Well, actually, I'm not going to just deal with it at all either. So it wouldn't matter to me. I'll just tell the world how you are and then move on. We were going to talk about what do you do now that the spring's here, temperature's changing.
Yeah,
you got to deal with all the damn fleas and ticks and heartworms and
the southeast is the
butthole worms.
Yeah, there'll be worms and butts eventually, I guess. Somebody's going to get them. If you got dogs, somebody's getting worms eventually.
I had a dog with worms in his butthole one time, and it was rough. I'm telling you, it was rough. You don't remember that?
No, I don't think I was there for that one.
You had worms when you were little.
You probably gave them to me.
Yep. We get what's the best remedy for worms?
I mean,
Natural remedies.
Natural remedies.
What do you got? Lay it on us.
Black walnut soaked in isopropyl alcohol. Black walnut
You
holes.
give that to your dogs?
Or
Jesus Christ!
Not isopropyl alcohol. Straight grain alcohol, like 180 proof.
I was fixing to say, well, you ain't getting my liquor.
No.
These some bitches, them dogs be backfiring and blowing blue flames out their butthole. No worms in that butthole.
But I'm saying, like, depression era people give that to themselves and their dogs. You basically just fill up like a quart jar full of like the green holes off the black walnut, and then just every day until it runs out.
You can use black walnut stuff, all kind of shit.
Oh yeah,
dying traps. They got a lot of strong tannins in them. Yeah. I know, like, diatomaceous earth as well.
Yeah, diatomaceous earth.
Apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, I mean, it can help, especially, I like it. It seems to help up their stomach after, like, they have an infestation. Like, if they had it where they were, like...
Now, you can use apple cider vinegar for a lot of things. I mean, all kind of shit on humans and dogs.
Yeah.
Like, you can make sprays with it. You can put, like, what is it? Several different oils together with apple cider vinegar and make, like, like lemon oil and shit like that, and make a spray for fleas and ticks, stuff like that.
Also use Seven Dust. I mean, Seven Dust works good. It kills about everything.
Seven Dust is it's a good thing.
A lot of times, like, you can find like fire ant powder and stuff like that, like lawn and garden or like Walmart section. I remember one time we got a bunch on sale.
It was like
$5 a bag.
No. Remember, it was $2.50 a bag for the 25 or the.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was like 20-pound bags, and I bought everything they would let me buy.
And I couldn't use them fast enough. The bags ended up degrading before I ended up using all of it. But that stuff worked great. I mean, it killed fleas, ticks, everything. So I would just take and throw it up under their doghouse and just throw it around the chain spots, throw it around the kennels and stuff like that. And I really didn't have any issues. I like using the diatomaceous earth because you can get it at Tractor Supply on, I think, like a 25 or 30-pound sack.
Mm-hmm.
And you can sprinkle it on the dogs. Now, while you're handling it, I'd wear gloves and a respirator.
Yes. Because
you get it in your lungs, it could hurt you. But you can take and just sprinkle a little bit down a dog's back, and they'll kind of start rubbing it in. And if they got fleas, it'll kill them. Anything with an exoskeleton, it's going to break it down.
It's helped a lot the past year or two that we've used it.
It's a good switch up instead of having to spray so many chemicals.
Or just an additive.
Yeah.
Maybe not even a switch up,
Yeah, because like during our wet season, it rains here so much that like grass is growing constantly. And it's like you cut your grass once a week and it might grow back. It's like 6 inches. And so it's like, all the time having to spray and spray and spray because it's new grass that don't have chemicals on it for fleas and stuff like that. And so, being able to spread that around the yard definitely helps as a switch up instead of just having to spray like permethrin or something like that.
Yep.
Which is another good alternative. You use like 10% permethrin. You could also go a little higher.
The permethrin we were getting was a stronger percent.
Yeah, it was made by High Yield. It was
38.
Shrub and Garden. And it was 38%. And I was cutting it in half.
Yeah. And that's worked for us. Yeah. Now, we're not saying y'all do that, but, use your own judgment. You do your own thing.
Yeah.
We're just saying that some of this stuff, like, it worked for us. What else?
Pour on ivermectin.
Pour on ivermectin. Yeah, that's all I use. The only kind of ivermectin I like.
It works well for heartworms and for fleas and ticks.
Skin mites, mange mites, grub lice.
Any kind of external
mites.
Like, we don't really use cattle tags because I use the pour on ivermectin every month.
We used to use them.
Yeah, and then
dogs kept eating them and getting fucked up. Like, they'd be drunk, foaming and slobbering.
We had that one jag that ate one. And
that was little bacon.
Yeah, that thing
I thought she was dead. I was like, is she dying?
I thought she was having a seizure at first. And then I noticed, like, But I still don't know
half the tag was gone. That's what
I
it
don't know
was.
how she could even reach it though.
Like we had it zip tied to her collar. I don't know how in the hell, but she would do it every time.
Ate like the whole thing.
Lily done it one time. I don't know what was wrong with the dogs. They just like to get high. That's all it was. They was on it. They was it didn't have no toot. Couldn't get going. They hit that old purple cattle tag. Bam, to the moon. It's just like having them big Larry Hoosiers on the back of it, them big meat sticks under the car.
Yeah.
That some bitches get down, squat, skit, and scat, and go. That's how them dogs do.
I understand.
Yeah. No, you don't.
No,
I've
personally never eaten.
My dogs hit second gear, be squeaking.
I try to stay away from the cattle tags.
Screeching tires.
Might not get off of.
I'm gonna eat one of them cattle tags. Try that some bitch. See if I get off. Feeling good.
Cut one up.
Good folks down there at Redstone Arsenal.
Yeah, we'll go down to Earl's with a bag full of cattle tags. Nobody will come back the same.
Exactly. Wear them like earrings.
I watched a video of a guy getting one of those through his ear the other day, and I just think about
that's one I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah, because it's such a big puncture hole. Like it's not like normally getting your it looks like somebody stuck like a pin through your ear.
Hell no.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, outside of that, starting to get hot as well. So
watch your dogs.
You haven't hunted your dogs all winter. Don't take them out for 42 miles on the first 75-degree day because they're not in shape.
Yeah.
You're not in shape, more than likely. Both y'all are going to get hot, and it's going to be horrible, you know?
And if you do, like dogs, which right now I don't think it's, heat stroke weather, but it's getting there. And it can at any time here in the deep south, southeast, with the humidity especially, it can catch you off guard quick. Like I've seen dogs heat stroke and it wasn't hot enough, Yeah. I mean,
especially once they get older.
What's that body temp got to be? 104 degrees heat stroke stage.
Right.
That's what it is. I was asking you this quizzing, but it's 104 degrees. It's got to get above that, and then you're in heat stroke.
I don't ever.
Well, Quentin Hender's whooping that guy's ass. He's heat stroking him right now. Anyway, so right now that guy's about 104.9.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to keep on. We're going to have to tip them ears, rub some alcohol on his belly, get him back up. But that's somebody fixing to lay down. But, I mean, once you get that temperature up, that a lot of people, they want to get rags and towels and get them ice cold and lay them on the dog. Don't do that. That's not how you do that.
Send him in a shock.
Well, yeah. And plus, when you put a towel over them and it's wet, it reaches air temperature really quick. And now it's a heater. You ever had a wet towel on you and you're outside in the sun? Yeah, it gets hot quick. So then you're just creating more of a problem. So, it's one just got to be careful all the way around with it. If something happens and you do that, like I said, rubbing alcohol can really help on them pads. Put it on their belly for real, stuff like that. That'll cool them down.
Heat off of them.
If you can get them in the air and just cool them down a little, start, gradually, I think that's the best thing.
Yeah.
You can put some cool water on them, not no ice cold shit. Don't put them in shock, like Nate said. And then just kind of get them to just to bring it down slowly. That way it don't just mess them up forever.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you have a good chance of a dog having a heat stroke and no adverse effects are going to be after that. And then sometimes dogs aren't the same.
Preacher.
Just like the people, it's like after they have a heat stroke, they don't hunt the same, or their demeanor, or they're kind of off in the head. Like we've only had a couple of dogs ever heat stroke.
Well, some people don't really even know what the heat stroke. They think heat stroke, the dog is just going to get super hot, fall out, and that's it. There can be so many symptoms. that are
Dogs are tough.
that are leading that are leading up to the heat stroke. You know, the heavy panting is one thing. But dogs pant all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that's how they cool down. Look at their gums. If they're real red, their tongue can be a bright, I ain't going to say like cherry red or nothing like that, but it'll be real red.
I've seen them get like purplish as well.
Yeah, it'll go through, change colors. You got their saliva thick,
Yeah.
big bubbles, a lot of bubbles in it. They're losing oxygen. They're so those are a few things to look at. Also, when they're panting, if they'll have that deep, they'll make like a guttural noise, what I call it, like through their throat.
Yeah.
That's another sign right there. It pacing back and forth.
Yeah.
Well, and that's how preacher. That's why I was like something is off, because he just paced. He was panting, but it wasn't no worse than normal. But the more he paced, the panting picked up. Like he was having a heat stroke and just made it worse on himself, honestly.
Yeah.
So there's a multitude of things. When they start doing that, they're panting and racing back and forth. You need to put them in a space where they can't do that to keep them calm. So if you don't, because it's just going to fucking get worse, and you're going to cause them to. And that's what happened to him. Like he kept on and threw himself back into another one. Yeah. He came through the first one. He was fine, and then a week later, done it again.
Yep.
And after that, that was the end of that.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, they're really tough, and a lot of times you won't think that there's really even anything wrong or enough to notice. It.
You just got to be careful. And if you ever think your dog's like getting too hot, just try and cool him off. Like I said, you don't want to cool him down too fast. Throw him in shock just in case. But it's like, just watch it. You can do a lot of preventative measures. Just make sure your dog's properly hydrated. Give them some electrolytes or something the night before you're going to take them hunting.
Now, we don't feed before we go hunt.
Typically not.
Just to keep all. And I think that's a big thing. There's a lot of guys that don't, because they know they're going to go run their dogs. But I know some guys that they'll feed while they hunt. If we're going to be on a all weekend hunt, they're going to feed the hell out of them dogs, and we're typically probably not. Yeah. You can take like just pure fat, give it to them as a little snack. There's been times where we've took just like whole packs of just dollar store bacon, cut it in half, and give them all 2 or 3 strips of bacon. They're getting some protein and some fat, some calories in them, and it's not too much heavy on their stomach. So that way they're not sluggish. They're not getting too hot. They're not running with all that, and they're not shitting everywhere.
Yeah.
So, those are some of those things can maybe they'll be helpful to some people.
I mean, like I said, just more sun. So I guess other things would be like clean out your water buckets. Biggest thing is probably just going to be algae in your buckets. I mean, most of the time, I think even dogs that don't knock over their water bucket or don't dig in it, I still got to clean their bucket probably once a week.
Yeah.
They're just going to get stuff in it. At least, even the cleanest dogs, just going back and
white buckets are going to be worse.
Yeah.
They're going to show everything. Yeah. I mean, they actually will show mold, algae, or anything quicker than any other color buckets.
And
I think blue or red buckets probably don't show as much.
We got a lot of black buckets, so a lot
that's
of times,
just so we don't see it.
I mean, a lot of times,
they work.
I think it's too dark in the bucket for the algae to grow as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because even if you take toilet brushes, what I usually use to clean out the bucket, I mean, you can use your hand, but it's going to be good and clean with a toilet brush. Now, I usually only use a toilet brush during the summer because of algae or something like that. But like during the wintertime, I'm probably just going to use my hand or something like that. A lot of times during the winter, they really don't get dirty. They're not just going to stay as dirty. A lot of times, Like, dog knocks the water bowl over and there was some dirt in it. That dirt drying to the bottom is why I got to have the damn toilet bowl brush instead of. But a lot of times it don't get that hot during the winter, so it's not going to like bake in there. But you can use apple cider vinegar. I've had good luck with that. Not putting any algae. Just do a good shot in like a 5-gallon bucket.
Well, a lot of people use bleach.
Yeah.
And it's not going to hurt nothing. Just don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I said, we definitely bleached a bunch of them and not left it in there, but just.
No, I'm talking about like adding a cat full of bleach or whatever to keep. That way they don't have to deal with the algae part.
Yeah. What I was doing beginning of last summer is I was bleaching like every 2 weeks. I'd bleach all the buckets, and I don't think I ever had any issues with algae.
Yeah,
but with the apple cider vinegar, I haven't really seen any algae pop up, and I've done it a couple times.
So that's what I'm saying.
I think it just keeps it clean.
That stuff works for a lot of shit.
Yeah. But I also noticed like with some of the dogs that might have had like messier stool or something like that, it kind of tightened it up. So I think it's helping them get a better gut biome, digest things a little easier.
Yep.
I guess another thing is some people probably aren't as bad about this, but I know occasionally stuff happens, especially when you have so many dog boxes, different rigs and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
If you leave the hay in there from over the winter, it probably got wet. It probably got nasty. It might have mold in it. Who knows? Your dog might have shit in it and then buried it and covered it back up.
You remember we got that one damn dog box and the fleas?
Yes, that's what
I'm talking about. It was the worst thing you've ever seen. I got a dog out of the box. I don't remember which dog it was. And that's something when I picked it up, like fleas were all over the place, all over me. I was like, holy shit. I said, this dog is covered. We looked at the dogs on the yard. No fleas nowhere. I was like, what is wrong?
Yeah.
And then gave her a bath, went through the whole process. We'll go hunt the next week. We get to wherever we was at. And I was like, oh my God, they're covered in fleas.
Yeah.
It was Betty. It was Betty. I was like, this dog is in an off the ground kennel.
Oh, yeah.
No other dog. I mean, nothing around. What is the problem? And it was Joe and Hank. I'm pretty sure he was putting Hank in the truck. And he said, holy shit, look at all these fleas. And we found it. And they were in the damn dog box. That's how bad they were in the dog box. And we didn't know.
Yeah, if you just ever get a little colony of fleas in there, they just go crazy.
We had set that box over to the side forever. Yeah. And I'm sure there was still a little bit of hay or whatever left in it.
Just enough to be dangerous.
Just enough. Or dirt, whatever it was. And I'm telling you, it was a damn mess.
Yeah. And the same thing with your dog houses.
Yeah.
It's like if you got wet or nasty dog hay, it's after the last, we probably won't have another frost this year. So, I don't
know. I looked at the almanac. I'll look at the almanac and see. I don't think there is, but should be about out of it.
It might get in the 40s or something like that. But honestly, that's not too cold for a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Dog ain't gonna die as long as they got a good house they can stay warm in, something like that. If they have hay, all good. But I figure by the end of the month, we won't have any hay in any of our dog houses. It's just gonna start raining so much, and a lot of times, it's actually ends up being warmer on a dog with just not having any bedding in the barrel or the dog house, and that way it can dry out in between rainstorms because from here till probably about middle of July, it's going to rain at least once a week, if not every other day.
Yep. It'll be raining a whole damn bunch. So, but yeah, those are just some things that y'all guys can, kind of pay attention, look for. Yeah. We got, I guess by the time you get this one uploaded, will probably be about time to go to Uncle Earl's down there. So if y'all listen to us, if y'all go to Uncle Earl's, come by the end of the grandstands down there where everybody comes in with the dogs, and that's probably where we're going to be set up. That's where we were last year. We liked it there because we were running dogs there, and we were able to still have our booth and set the store up. We'll have we'll have a lot of stuff that we'll sell there. We got a few new items. We started handling some stuff from Unique Outdoors, their water tanks and their dog feeders. They're all welded aluminum. So super nice. Dog boxes, different things like that. Right now, everything is kind of built to order, or ordered as you need it. We're trying to figure out the shipping and all, how we can get the most bang for the buck. The way we're not going to be having to charge an outrageous amount, but like the product is a super nice product. We looked them over, put our hands on them a few times. We like them. I mean, you're talking some of the nicest dog boxes I've seen. And definitely, like I said, the feeders, we got the aluminum feeders for $85. And they're not huge, but they're not tiny either. There's enough there that you can, I would say put in there for your dog for a week or so, maybe a little more for an individual dog. That way you don't have like those big chow hound feeders or whatever they are, the little tin ones that you buy. They rust out and you get too much food in them. They start mold, mildew if it gets too much moisture or something. So anyway, look out for some of that stuff, and we'll have the micro hog hunter lights with us at Uncle Earl's. Loved it. That dude loved that light. That sumbitch right there is it's pretty nice. It's definitely what we use.
I mean, it's good for hunting. It's good for just general utility.
I like it more for the hog hunting aspect of it, because like going in, especially hog hunting with dogs, when you walk in, it's got such a wide beam, a flood instead of a spotlight, I just feel like it's a lot better.
And it's got a red. It's a good red. It's not one of those. It's bright enough to where you can actually see it.
Two red settings on it.
It's not going to actually just muddle things out.
Yeah. Well, you can get them from us or Hardcore. Yeah. Michael Spiler, that's actually his light. And, but we're handling them too. So he was nice enough to call us and send us one to test. And dude, I'm telling you, I like it.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be down there at Earl's, though. What day are we planning on going? Monday?
Yeah, about the time this comes out, we should be getting down there. And there's a few people there's a lot of people I'm looking forward to seeing. Yeah. But there's a few people like, there's one little asshole named Braxton Sultan.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot wait to see him. I'm going to thump him right on the end of the nose. I'm going to grab it here and pinch it. And he's going to get me a cold ass beer, and we're going to sit down and drink some cold beers. Yeah, you hear me, Braxton?
I believe that's probably our biggest goal at Uncle Earl's, is really just to
have a good time.
Yeah.
Work. Last year was just work. Yeah, which we still had a good time. But this year, like, we're going to try to mix it up. I don't think we're going to be as...
We downsize a little bit on the tent. Just don't want as much stuff.
Which, like I said, I wish I knew if Scott and them were going, Scott Lanier. I know he was just at the weigh-in, which, of course, I think Kevin Brooks and Drew Brooks, Carter, and Ryan, I think they're all going to go out and hunt for a couple of days, first part of the week, and then come back through and stay at Earl's for a few days. And then, of course, we'll get to see all the regulars. We can go on and naming them folks for probably 2 hours just saying names, but there's anybody that's in the bay pen world that knows us. We try to be gracious and thankful to everybody that we can. And just because we're not dropping each name doesn't mean that we don't appreciate you. Like I said, we appreciate all the business and all that stuff y'all kept us going for the past couple of years now. And we're just staying steady with it. We're growing, just a good, slow, steady growth. We don't want to be like a one-hit wonders and just pop up and get out, but we're still here, sticking around. So, and then what else we got coming up? Anything else? We'll have our Shankathon coming up around the end of May, and then I think the Alabama Dog Hunter Association, they'll put on their hunt. Travis, I think he said first or second week in June. So we got a few things. Then Jake, he'll be having another bay in Downsville.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be coming up. I think Slade's having one pretty soon. Then we'll have the Plot Bay. Usually that's in April. So there'll be a pretty good calendar of events coming on. We'll get all that. We'll actually get all the dates and stuff here in the next week or two, and then when we do our next podcast, we'll do one on just kind of catching up on the calendar of events for the year and see about all that. So, you got anything else you want to add on that, Nate?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Well, trying to see, just make sure we went over everything that we were just talking about or wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so
like I said, I guess the only thing is, how does turkey season affect y'all? Does it affect y'all?
Yeah, give us some feedback on this.
Y'all do anything different? How do y'all hunt? Like how are y'all targeting?
What are the dog hunting laws during turkey season where you live at?
Yeah,
like if somebody's in Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, all the places that have hogs, if like on YouTube, whatever, you can get on and just comment, or you can just shoot us a message, email us or whatever.
Yeah.
Hit us on Instagram or TikTok or Snapchatting or whatever it is, and let us know. And if you got some more topics, we've had a few people reach out with some topics, and
we like it.
We got one. I think that's what this one here is over some of those topics.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I told him. I was like, hey, we already got that in the books, but I appreciate you letting us know.
Yeah, he just messaged just a couple weeks ago, and he was like, he said, hey, I got an idea. I was trying to see if I could. Do you remember his name? So that way we could at least say, hey.
I've looked at a lot of messages.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. I can't remember. And I have short-term memory loss. And I have long-term memory loss. So I can't remember shit. I got CRS. Well, I thought it might be on here, but it's not. Probably on something else. Because I don't understand all this damn technology junk. I was trying to see if I could find her name. Any other time it would be popping up. But either way, y'all make sure y'all check out all our social media junk. And then do not, I repeat, do not run no open dogs with us. See if that stirs up some controversy.
Okay. We'll see.
We went hunting with Real Peace, and he's got open dogs.
Yeah.
Well, he said these dogs are open. They didn't bark on track. They barked one time and then quit. So I don't know. When we got to
news.
Fake
news.
Yeah, fake news. Probably on Fox News. Some shit like that. I don't know. All right, well, y'all get back with us. Let us know. Nathan's fixing to go to sleep over here. He's finna pass out. So,
all righty.
Till next time, we'll see y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.